Okay, I'm gonna make the video for lesson 3, and I just want to let you know that there's a couple things we're going to be using. To begin, we're gonna start with the notes. I'm gonna go through the notes like I did last time. There's probably going to be more than one video, and then we'll switch over to doing a demo in Java. So this lesson is on simple string operations. So first thing, and this is actually a review for the freshmen, and that is something that we did where we smashed items together when we were printing by using the plus sign, but that has an official name called concatenation. So this is using the plus sign to smash things together in a string, and we can smash together other strings, variables, can smash together calculations, etc. So here's an example, and I will be demoing this in the second video. So I'm going to create an integer variable sum, set it equal to 0, an integer variable x, set it equal to 5, and an integer variable y, and set it equal to 10. Now, something that I forgot to write down here is that underneath this, I would have to put sum equals x plus y semicolon. So we know that if we added those two numbers, they would be 5 plus 10 equals 15. So then, how could I use concatenation? Well, I can make this print statement to say x, which would be 5, concatenated with the plus sign, concatenated with y, which is 10. So this part would give me 5 plus 10 plus the string equals, so it would say 5 plus 10 equals, and then sum. So again, adding that calculation, sum equals x plus y semicolon, then that would equal 15. And like I said, I'll do that demo in a few minutes. So continuing on. So we're going to focus here on strings. Strings are objects, and one thing we're going to learn about objects is that objects have data and methods associated with them. So we could draw ourselves a little picture of an object. Here's an arrow going to data. Here's an arrow going to methods. Data are things like properties, ways to describe your object, like its name, its weight, its size. Those are adjectives. Now, the other thing about objects is they can have methods. So these are the actions of your object, what your object does or can be done to your object. These are the verbs. So for example, if your object was a ball, maybe we could bounce the ball, or maybe we could roll the ball. Those are things that we can do to our object that is a ball. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to use the following methods. We're going to learn, so for a string, we're going to learn how to find its length, how many characters are in a string, and we're going to learn about two different things called substrings, a substring command method with one number inside of the parentheses, and a substring command with two numbers separated by commas. These methods allow us to create another string from a given string. And then finally, two super easy methods are two lowercase and two uppercase. These convert a string to either all upper or lowercase. One other way to tell that you have a method is that there'll be some name of the method followed by a set of parentheses. Sometimes we have nothing inside of the parentheses, and sometimes the method requires information, like in case 2, the substring methods require us to put a number in there. More to that in a minute. Okay, a little more about strings. And for those of you who know JavaScript, this is like JavaScript. So I'm going to quickly discuss a specific example of a string M equal to Michigan Wolverines. And for the record, there is a space here. Now, for every string, there's something called index values associated with every single character in the string. The index values are integer values that start 0 with the first character and continue on increasing in order all the way out to the end. If I were to count up the number of characters in Michigan Wolverines, there are actually 19 characters. But since our index value starts at 0, it ends at 1 minus the number of characters. So for example, I told you, or I suggested, and you do this yourself, count up the number of characters. That's our n. There are 19. Our index values are going to go from 0 to n minus 1. So that means for our specific example, our index values go from 0 to 18. Now, let's talk about a little bit more about the methods. How do you call a method for any object? Well, the way you do it is you say the name of the object, then this is a period or a dot, and then the name of the method. If your method throws something back to you, you should catch it and do something with it. What does that mean? So for example, the first method, I spelled this wrong, but the first method that I have is the method length. So this is going to give you the number of characters in your string. So it's going to return to you an integer. This is called a method header. The first thing you'll see is the return type. What gets thrown back to you by the method? And then the other part is just the length of the string, or I'm sorry, the length method. How you call the length method. In Java documentation, this is often how this is presented, a method header, so you understand what is returned, the name of the method, and if any parameters are required. Okay, now when I do the demo, I'm going to be going into more detail as to how these methods all work that we listed above. We're going to demonstrate by coding. The last part of the lesson deals with something called escape sequences. Sometimes we need to include special characters in a string, such as a double quote, or a backslash, or a new line, or a tab. And we can accomplish this by including special codes inside of our strings. So if I need, for example, a set of double quotes to use with a title of something, I use the special sequence of characters backslash double quote. If I need a single quote, backslash single quote. If I need to include a backslash, like if I'm trying to print a birthday, I use 2 backslashes, and then the other options that you might want to be familiar with are backslash T to tab, backslash N to new line, and backslash R for a carriage return. So those are called escape sequences. Again, those are special characters to include in a string when we need to print some of these special things, or to have, when printed, certain things happen, like a tab inserted or a new line. So I'm going to stop this first video, and then I'm going to switch over to the next video where we're going to demonstrate some of the methods that we talked about and also some of these escape sequences. In order for you to be prepared to walk through what we're going to do, you need to go to your announcement page. So right here, I have where it says the link to lesson 3 is actually the shell of a JGraphs file. So we need to download this. So go ahead and do that. And then you should open it in JGraphs. In order for you to be prepared for everything that we're going to do, the first thing you should do is save it. Make sure you navigate to your directory. So I'm going to go to H, Tech and Web, Computer Science, and Java. I'm going to go ahead and save this and compile it so I'm ready to go. And in the next video, we're going to go ahead and provide examples for all the things that were just discussed in the notes. Okay, great. See you next time.